System. And now we are live together. Hi, my name's Jennifer. I am one of the acupuncturists and certified light therapists here at CNY Healing Arts in our flagship location, which is in Syracuse, the lovely Salt City. Here we are, enjoying a nice hot summer. We have to be careful of the heat and what it does to the body. When you get hot inside, it can actually affect your thyroid. And the way to cool down is not from air conditioning. That's the outside in. We want to cool you down from the inside out. That's a whole nother conversation, otherwise known as a tangent. Today, I want to talk about PCOS and endometriosis and the connection that they have. I also, I want to address, as I always do, the problem with synthetic vitamins, why location matters of your uterus and ovaries, the autoimmune phase, it's not a standalone disease, and what can you do about it? So I've known Dr. Kiltz now, almost 20 years. And when I got involved with fertility, thanks to him and CNY, not that many people were diagnosed with PCOS. It was unusual, I would say, and it was of a type, right? Now, it's the most common diagnosis we have and is often coupled with endometriosis. Why is that? Well, I always say I'm going to check off the all of the above box. That's why. First of all, I want you to take a look at the vitamins you're taking. Okay, so I sometimes blog for a company called Saline River Press, and I just wrote a blog for them about the synthetic vitamin industry, what it's doing to us, where it comes from, and why is this happening? Of course, we are a commodity. I mean, if you don't know that by now, you need to know. We're a commodity. We are being marketed to by the so-called health community, and we're being sold all of this stuff that is not necessarily helping us. The FDA has talked about regulating the vitamin industry for a long time. As a healthcare practitioner, I always thought, oh gosh, they're coming after the stuff that works. Not necessarily. It's not that they always have our best interest at heart. Let's face the facts here, folks. But when it comes to this very unregulated industry, it can be causing more harm than not. The litmus test on the label is vitamin C. If it says that it's ascorbic acid, that is not vitamin C. That is part of the vitamin C complex. It is the most fibrous aspect of the vitamin C complex. It's the easiest to harvest, and it is imported from out of the United States. So, and vitamin C complex is for the tissue type of collagen, connective tissue, cartilage. Hello, dear. I want you to email me your questions. I'll put my website, jenniferwaters.net, there in a minute, and you can just reach out to me, and I'll weigh in if I can. So if you're taking vitamins, you have to ask yourself why. If you're taking it as an antioxidant, that means whoever sold that to you, taking vitamin C as an antioxidant, does not understand how our cells work, right? When the cells are functioning well, we produce our own antioxidants. We don't need to ingest antioxidants, okay? So vitamin C is often prescribed as that because we need antioxidants for cellular rejuvenation or whatever. It's not true. Vitamin C complex in its whole food form is for connective tissue, cartilage. And so if you are having issues with that, and this includes your cervix, this includes your uterus. So if you have entered the autoimmune phase, which is what endometriosis is, it's the autoimmune phase of the uterus, then you are not getting the vitamin C complex that you need to repair that, because the body is designed to repair itself. If you're not getting the results that you want, either you're doing the same things over and over, expecting different results. We know what the definition of that is, or you're not doing the right stuff, right? So we need to look at, if you're stuck in a pattern, what can we do to change? Lots of things, okay? Change begins in the mind. It begins the emotions. It begins in a decision. I'm going to change. I'm going to make a change. You have to pay attention to what you're thinking and telling yourself. A lot of people over-identify with their diagnosis. I have this. I am that. Well, that's somebody's opinion. And in a perfect world, it's very temporary, right? Because we are designed to heal and change. So if that's not happening, we have to look at why. All right. So that's it about vitamins. Okay. It's one of my subjects I really go off on because I've been in the vitamin industry since 1986 and I've seen things change, and it is a multi-billion-dollar operation now. So, all right, the next thing is location, right? The uterus is designed to move. She's a suspensory organ. As you know, she goes from the size of a pear to a watermelon, right? So that's a big change there. So because of the nature of the uterus being suspended by ligaments, let's say you were 8 years old, you fell off a horse, bam, then your uterus is going to shift its location and she can get stuck there. So then what happens is stagnation of blood, chi, and energy, right? And this can be the number one leading cause of endometriosis, is a misaligned uterus. And because the ovaries are connected to the uterus through these very delicate fallopian tubes, they go with it, right? And hopefully they're all together here. So that congestion continues. So I'm going to beg you, I'm going to request, I'm going to ask you too, whenever you go in for an ultrasound, sonogram, ask the person, hey, do you notice, is my uterus in a good position? Is she retroflex, which means to the back? If you have menstrual cramps in your back, then we know that your uterus is shifted towards the back. Again, number one cause of the endometrial lining is unable to easily shed out because of the location. Or to the front, if you have really bad cramps in the front, it could be that, and the other sign, the telltale sign is that she's too far forward, is your bladder. The uterus sits on top of the bladder, which is why you need a full bladder when you come for an IVF transfer. The bladder will push up and stabilize the cervix more and uterus so the catheter can go in. So if your bladder is too far, your uterus is too far forward and pressing down, you're going to have to pee all the time. Drink and tink is what I call it. You drink all day and you have to go to the bathroom all the time, right? So ask whoever's doing your ultrasound. They may say, oh, we don't care about that. Location doesn't matter. It matters to me. It matters to you. It doesn't matter to them because they're simply going to place your perfect embryo in your perfect uterus. And that's great. But we are gathering information about causation, right? For every effect or symptom, there is a cause. So I don't care what anybody says. I believe in cause and effect. It's true. The sun shines, you get warmer, right? It's just the way it is. So if you are looking to repair your body, looking to repair your endocrine system, the most important system in the fertility journey, then we need to sort of tease out causation so that we can check things off. Because what you want to do is end up with your perfect take-home baby a lot healthier than when you started. And when you use more natural regenerative remedies, that is what is going to happen. You're going to end up with your baby a lot healthier than when you started. So I think it's really important to do that. Now, a lot of you are on the autoimmune protocol, or you have been diagnosed with some sort of autoimmune situation. So I want to explain really quickly here that autoimmune disease is not a standalone disease, right? It is a late stage degenerative process, okay? The body does not attack itself, period. Okay, we've been told, oh, you've got rheumatoid arthritis, the body's attacking your joints. It's not true. The body wouldn't do that because we are designed to heal and repair. I've seen people recover from advanced cancer, from all kinds of really chronic, complex things. I've seen people recover in a short amount of time. So then why would you be the exception with this ridiculous autoimmune thing and you're told the body's attacking itself? It is not. What happens is it's a kind of leaky cell syndrome. The cells lose their integrity from all of the above: heavy metals, toxins, excess hormones, endogenously, all kinds of things, viruses, bacteria, too much candida, excess heat in the body, all kinds of stuff. So that affects the cellular functioning, right? And then the cells have a hard time. Lots of things we can do for scar tissue. So then the nucleic proteins that should be in the center of the cell leak out into the blood, right? So then the body, in its wisdom, is attacking the foreign proteins in the blood, not you. It's doing its job. So then the immune system gets punished. Let's go after the immune system and telling them it's not doing a good job. It's like telling your German Shepherd that she's in trouble for going after the person breaking into your house. You would never do that. You would go after the invader, right? You don't punish the dog. So think about this, okay? I also wrote another blog post for Selene River Press. It's called The Autoimmune Phase of the Uterus. So look that up. It should be fairly easy to find. And it really explains this in more detail. Causation, location is a part of it, cellular integrity, taking the synthetic vitamins, all of that. And what can we do to pull yourself out of that and going forward into a much healthier situation? So there's lots of things that we can do, but I want you to really get clear on this important subject. So I think that's it. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of calls here. So you can find this replay on Facebook, the CNY Fertility Facebook. That's where all of our lives are. So what I'm noticing is that so many young women now, younger and younger and younger, are coming in with this unfortunate diagnosis of PCOS and endometriosis. And when you think about PCOS as the autoimmune phase, right? So the ovaries want all of our endocrine glands. Remember, hormones means to make happen, right? So your endocrine glands want to do their job. They want to make these hormones, which are then secreted into the ductless glands or secreted into the blood and then transmitted to all of the endocrine glands. They want to do their job. So if they have been shut down with hormonal birth control or whatever, not getting enough hormone making nutrients here, folks, that's what the ovaries want. So the ovaries, if they're not getting what they need to produce, to do their job, which is folliculogenesis, we're going to produce these follicles to create the corpus luteum and then secrete these incredible hormones, the happy hormones that are going to keep you healthy and sustain a pregnancy. They will rebel, right? The ovaries will rebel. And they'll say, you know what? We don't have what we need to make follicles, so we're going to make cysts instead. One thing I want you to consider is the amount of eggs you're eating, quality of eggs, number of eggs. So eggs feed cysts, not necessarily eggs from the farm. I don't care if they're free range, if they've done psychotherapy, if they've been given the highest quality grass, if they are from the grocery store, they are different than the ones from the farm. So I want you to experiment with this because I had an ovarian cyst and I was eating a lot of eggs. And one morning I had an omelet for breakfast and bam, I could feel it right in my ovary. I gave up eggs for not forever, but for a short time. And I was able to eliminate this cyst. Now I'm older. I was closer to menopause than probably you are. So pay attention to how you're feeling. So anyways, so back to the rebellious stage of the ovaries, which is PCOS, they're going to do something. So they're going to create these cysts and then they get lazy. They go back to being lazy. So what can we do to help you recover from this? Quite a few things, right? Stop taking the synthetic supplements. Look at your ingredients, folks. Do a deeper dive. It's getting harder and harder to get actual sources that are going to give you the truth online. Let's look at location. All right. And then we need to look at how your cells are functioning and what could possibly impede them from receiving the nutrients that they need. So PCOS is a hormone imbalance, right? It's too much and not enough of specific hormones. And there's different kinds, right? There's the glucose kind, it's too much sugar. There's the adrenaline dominance type. That's the other thing I want you to ask your doctor, ask your acupuncturist in particular for a diagnosis. I cannot tell you the number of women that I see coming in for treatment that have been doing regular weekly acupuncture with their acupuncturist back at home, and they do not have a diagnosis. This makes me very sad and frustrated because for you, you're investing time, energy, resources, you're getting these treatments, and you don't know for what. Everybody has a differential diagnosis. This is what we say in Chinese medicine. So it often goes back to the liver, which is mostly connected to the uterus, or the kidneys, which is very connected to the thyroid. If we just fix your thyroid and we get your ovaries functioning better, it's almost a slam dunk that your IUI will work, your transfer is going to work, but we need to correct these things. So please ask your acupuncturist, why are we doing this? What is the pattern here? Because that pattern, if you have liver blood stasis, let's say, that's a classic Chinese medicine diagnosis, then we know what you eat, how you're moving your body, what you're doing, what kind of yoga you're doing, all these different kinds, what kind of breath work you're doing. Everything is going to be about changing that pattern, that diagnosis. You need to move the liver blood. How do you do that? Why did it get stuck? Things like that. So acupuncture is worth it, my dear. As an acupuncturist for 27 years, I can say, but you need to find the right person, and you need to find somebody in the know, and you need to find somebody that cares enough to tell you what they view is going on with you. And then you have to connect with that information. Remember, you know your body better than anybody else. Okay. All of us practitioners, we have our ideas. Sometimes we project, sometimes we're wrong, so you have to trust yourself and say, you know what, that really makes sense for me. I have been taking synthetic vitamin E, which usually just has one of the tocopherols. This is the other litmus test in the vitamin world. Vitamin E. So vitamin E is 5 tocopherols. The best kind is wheat germ oil. It's cheap. It's easy to find. Don't buy it on Amazon, and this is the hormone making nutrient for the ovaries. So if your practitioner says your ovaries are underfunctioning or overfunctioning, you don't have the hormone making nutrients, it's very connected to your liver blood stasis. And here's what I recommend. Great. This is valuable information. Now you're connecting with that, and you have to decide that makes sense for me. And yes, I also want you to believe and feel, faith and trust that your body can repair itself. Okay. Sometimes we have to move away from the diagnostics, and move more into, I feel pretty good today. If you feel good, you are good. A lot of people, I do a lot of pain relief in the clinic, and people will bring in their MRI report from 5 years ago, and they really get kind of stuck on how can the discs recover from these herniations, and they keep looking at it. Sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's getting the body strong enough so that you don't have symptoms. So there's lots of different approaches, and sometimes that we do just go to eliminate symptoms, and that is stage 1. And then we get into the deeper stages of actually repairing what's going on, and we can do all of this. Good. Yes, I do offer one-to-one. You can reach out to me. I'm going to put my website here. Sign up for my newsletter, and you're going to get a little series about what I believe to be the truth for me and hopefully for you. All right, I'm going to say goodbye to Facebook, and I'm going to say hello to Instagram and put my website on here. Stay on the journey, folks. I know it's not easy. It's emotionally exhausting. It's physically demanding. It's a lot. And so I want you to just stay in the game, have faith and trust, try different things, okay? Don't keep doing the same things over and over. You got this. Oh dear, this used to be easy. Now it's not. Ending the stream. Okay, play out.